The Christological hymn in Philippians 2 does not support the Trinity.
It kind of does, and it's not for the use of the word morphe that Dan addresses in this video. But even the Oxford Annotated Bible notes that in the form of God and equality with God may refer to some sort of divine status or simply pre-existence of the Son. What makes the Christ hymn Trinitarian is the conclusion of the hymn in Philippians 2 verse 10. After everything the Son has done, Paul says, so that at the name of Jesus every knee should bow in heaven and on earth and under the earth, and every tongue confess that Jesus Christ is Lord. Now this sounds neutral to us because we typically don't know our Old Testaments. But to anybody who knows the book of Isaiah realizes Paul is taking something that is due to Yahweh alone and he's crediting it to Jesus. This is actually a citation of Isaiah 45 verse 23. As Dr. Moises Silva notes, in the context of Isaiah, it constitutes one of the most powerful Old Testament affirmations of the uniqueness of the God of Israel in the context of his redeeming work. So as God is promising his future exodus through the prophet Isaiah, he concludes in verse 23, to me every knee shall bow, every tongue shall swear allegiance. So now Paul in the New Testament is declaring God's great work of redemption in the Son, but then instead of taking that phrase and attributing it to God the Father, Paul takes that phrase and applies it to the Son. He says in verse 10 that at the name of Jesus every knee should bow and every tongue confess that Jesus Christ is Lord. As Silva notes again, whether or not Paul composed the Christian hymn, it patently expresses his own conviction that the worship of Jesus Christ does not compromise Israel's monotheistic faith. That is, Paul is clearly taking a passage that refers to the worship of Yahweh from Isaiah, and now he's applying it to the Son. And so in the context of the Son being in the form of God, yet not counting equality with God a thing to be grasped, then being found in the form of the servant, and then being exalted, in the context of all of that leads to the conclusion that the Son is to be worshipped just like the Father. In other words, all of this together, the data seems to support some notion that the Father and the Son are equal in deity, and thus both worthy of worship.